I'm Uncle Mark. Welcome to the channel. Just gonna try and replace one of these lights. Wasn't working right, and now that I've tampered with it, it's working, but the bulb is not sitting in the right. So this is a map reading light, interior light on a Ford Flex. Gonna take the assembly apart too, show you how to do that in case you need to get in there. Maybe replace a switch. So you see it's not working. It doesn't help to try and turn it on or off too. I thought, what's going on? Door open or closed, doesn't seem to really matter. So I was trying to figure out, how does this thing come apart? Yeah. Well, let's take a look at it together. I used a small flat screwdriver is what I'm going to basically use. I think that's pretty much the only tool. Try and get the light to go out here too. Oh, now that I fiddle with it, it's working, but it is a little iffy. So find if you pry them from the back, that's the side closest to you. It'll unhook the front part of it, and this lens goes all the way around to the other side too. So basically from the back, of course I'm trying to work around the camera, and then there's this front piece, and it just kind of pries up a little bit, and it should come out. It's just holding on with two little fingers there. You want to be gentle about it. I'll show you it once I get it out, how it hooks in here. I got one side out. Wiggle it a little bit. Can't really get a screwdriver on the other side. Not very well. Now, this is the hard way to do this. You know, working upside down over your head. I'm going to show you how you take this whole unit out and then change the bulb. I think that is the way to do it. Somewhere around the 7-minute mark, I'll show you that. But maybe you just want to tough it out and do it this way. Should have some chapters in this. I'll try and put a chapter in there, and maybe I'll title it The Easy Way, or Taking the Assembly Out, or How to Take the Assembly Out, something like that. Oh, here we go. So that plastic piece came out, and now I've got access to the bulbs. See these hooks that are in the front? Yeah, that's what they look like. They snap into something that holds it in there. Now it's got this reflector stuff, and I had to move it out of the way because there's no way to grab that bulb. I tried little pliers, need on those pliers and that, and it's just, no, I had to move it. You see here where the front of the lenses hook in. It's like a T. Yeah, it gives you a closer, so they just kind of ride up a little ramp and then snap in. Again, I found it after going through all this that much easier just to take the whole assembly out first and then work with this on your lap or on a table. Show you how to do that in a second. Pull that out. Of course, now that it was on, it's pretty hot. What's the bulb number? That's probably something you really want to know. So we'll take a look at it pretty quickly. I thought it was like a 194 or something, but it's not. It's a W5W. W5W. And it just plugs in. It doesn't turn or nothing. It just snaps in, snaps out. This little white thing on the side is actually the switch you're pushing when you push on the lens. So I thought, okay, get a bulb. Although I'm going to reuse this bulb because it does work. It just, the socket was a little loose. I think somebody's replaced it at one time, and this kind of chromy stuff around it that reflects wasn't sitting properly over the socket, so the bulb couldn't go in all the way. Plus, it seems like there was a problem with the little connector, I guess, in that socket. It's like little fingers. So I'll show you later on if you need to tighten them, how I did it. I tried a couple different things. And there's the bulb inside. Now, one thing I noticed with all this reflector part here is like a really thin aluminum, like a tin can kind of thing, or aluminum can. And it's very easy to bend, at least where the connections or where it's mounted on. Plus, it doesn't want to go in there exactly the way I wanted it to. One thing I tried on the bulb, maybe this will work if you want to try it, is I just pried these up a little bit. Thought, oh, that'll, give it a little more friction to fit into the connector. But I find out a little later on that no, this didn't help. But you could try it if this is your issue. You'll know as soon as you snap it back in there if it's making good contact or if it's still wobbly or not. So I got it in there, and I thought we were good. Of course, the switch isn't going to turn it off because my door is open. This is what this plastic lens looks like. I also had to take this apart a couple times because I had some issues in recording this, and I found out the correct way to put it back in. And it's not with that long piece at the front there. It's not with those first. I'm going to put those in last. And like I say, they kind of ride up a little ramp there and snap into place. If that's what you want to try, that's what I did. Now, of course, everybody else say a different way to put it in. I thought it would be put the front in first and then the back piece in after, because that's kind of the way we took it out. But I would beg to disagree. It's not the right way to word it, that this is not the way to put it in. But you can try it. I found it later, snap that front piece in last. I'm going to show you how to do that in a minute here. So this is the easiest way to do it. Here we are at 6 minutes. Pop the back out and then kind of pull it towards you. The front will slide out. There's wires holding it, so you want to be careful. There's 2 clips at the back here. See this clip? And they go into 2 slots in the top roof here. Not that slot, but the ones that are going up and down here right now, the thin ones. They pop into the thin slots there. And that holds the whole unit in. It's pretty sturdy. So this is what I would suggest. Why not unplug these connectors? There's a little push tab there. You push it down, and while you're pushing, you're going to try and pull the connector, not necessarily by the wire. Maybe you want to use a little flat screwdriver to help you along, but there's that little tab, locking tab. You push it down, and as you're pushing, you want to pull it out. It's the same with this one. Push a tab down, try and pull the connector out. This connector has been in here for like whatever, 10 years, 12 years, 13 years. So it's probably going to need some persuasion. So I'm going to lightly just take my little flat screwdriver and just pop that out. Again, holding down that tab. This can be way easier on my lap here. Can snap that in there. And it went very well. And it's kind of like it's, well, trying to not block your view. But it just seems, I'm going to make sure this is, the socket's exposed. I think that's what happened last time somebody had it. It just seems like I'm not barely touching it. It's jiggly. It doesn't want to pop in there. Even when I moved those little connectors on the bulb, I thought that was going to work, and it didn't. So let's take a closer look at this and how it works. If you can see right on the end of that, there's a little nib or whatever on that one, on that one, on that one. These are on the edges of this connector. I'm going to try and push them down. And what that's going to do is it's going to push against the white plastic beside it. And it's going to actually lock it in place a little better, because I think what's happening here is they've moved up a little bit. And when you stick the bulb in, it spreads apart. Not against the bulb, it spreads apart the other way. It moves out of this plastic socket that it's sitting in, if that makes any sense. I'm just going to insert the bulb in, and it's like, now it's pretty tight, but as long as it stays in there. And, oh yeah, put our reflective coating back on. Make sure it snaps in here nice. There's little holes that go on these little tabs here on the bottom. Sorry, kind of out of the view. Top looks like it's all lining up. That's good. And yeah, the switch should be exposed as well. So backwards from the way we took it out. Actually, these should clip in first. The bottom here, yeah, closest to you. And then the top will just snap in. It's like, wow, this went together way easier than when I was monkeying around with it last time. So, yeah, there you go. Now just plug everything back in. Everything in reverse order. Can't mix these up. Should just snap in. Here, click. Same with this little one. Here, click. And now we're ready to put it in. So the front can kind of go in first, and then the back will snap. There we go. Oh, these won't turn on because the light is timed out. Give my key, maybe that'll help. I can't close my door right now. There you go. They're on. And then will they go out? They do. So, not bad. Like, not too hard to do. We did it anyway, and that's all that matters. So that wasn't too hard for me to do, and I don't think it's too hard for you to do either. I suggest popping the thing out from the ceiling, and then you're not trying to work like this. That makes it a little tough to do. And it goes together a little easier. It's easy to pull out as long as you got a little flat screwdriver. That's all I used. And my little fingers, digits. If you liked the video, please, can you give me the thumbs up? It helps YouTube know that, hey, this guy's actually doing not a bad job. It won't go to my head, don't worry. You can also subscribe down in the corner as well. If you haven't, I've got more videos on this Ford Flex. I'm going to try and do as many as I can. We'll probably keep this for a little while. We've had it for, well, a year now. Also, talking about the Ford Flex, how about a playlist? Blue circle, yep. See the yellow flashing arrow? That brings you to a card at the very top that you click on that and it brings you right to the playlist of this vehicle. Got other playlists too. Probably, if you have a Ford Flex, you probably have a second car, maybe a third car as well. Check and see what else I've got there. Maybe I've got your other car that you can save yourself some money by doing it yourself. Until next time, I'm Uncle Mark saying bye-bye for now. From friendly Manitoba, you're probably wondering, where do you get the friendly from? It's our slogan, friendly Manitoba. I hope we are if you ever come visit. Bye-bye. Please subscribe and you'll get all the notifications. It's easy. The little dog will show you how. Ring the bell. Ring the bell. What is wrong here?